Cheers. This is our 4th episode.
Is it really?
I think so.
Yeah.
Which honestly, it feels like we've already done like 20.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why, but it just feels like that. Anyways, how was your craft vision boarding night? Like what did you vision board? What did you craft?
Well, that was my first time making a physical vision board.
What?
I've only ever done like digital ones.
Oh my gosh. I'm very surprised by that. Wait, you're a specific manifestor or no?
Non-specific and passive. So literally
Non-specific
the
and
worst.
passive.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So-
I think I'm the opposite. I don't know. I can't remember the passive or active. We're talking about human design in case you guys are wondering what kind of jargon that is. But specific manifestors it's easier for specific manifestors to know exactly what you want. And for, what is it? Non-specific. It's kind of like the opposite, right?
It's just like
Like if you're manifesting a car, you're not going to be like, I want the Mercedes, whatever. But I'm the one that should be like manifesting very specifically. And you're just kind of like a car.
I'm like,
Or like-
I want the car to feel cozy and
Yes.
I want, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
Okay. It's more like the feelings of it too. Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm also passive. So I'm not really supposed to be actively manifesting. It's just supposed to like come to me and I'm supposed to take the opportunity when it comes.
Oh, okay.
So I guess because of that, I've never really like been into vision boards just because it doesn't really help me at all.
Yeah, that's so true. It's so funny. I made a vision board like 4 years ago with my friend Alex before we knew if we were specific or non-specific. And my vision board was like super specific stuff. Like,
Really?
Super, like, this is what I want. And his was just kind of like very abstract, like feelings and moods. And then we like looked it up like a few days later and he was non-specific and I was specific. And I was like, this is so weird that we kind of like intuitively knew that we manifest in different ways, which is really cool.
So I guess on my vision board that I made, it was very non-specific now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I just put like a bunch of like pinks and red.
Yes.
And I cut out like affirmations in like random magazines that I found. Like one was like, you're gonna share your great taste with the world or something. And I'm like, well, we're doing a podcast, so I need that to be on my board. And then I found a phrase that said, express your maximalism, which is crazy because my whole adult life I've tried to be like a minimalist.
Okay.
But now I'm like really into maximalism.
Oh, interesting. What was the switch?
I think I just was tired of being bored.
Yep, that's true.
And just realizing that I really do love color.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, right now I'm in neutrals.
It's okay. We have a lot of color.
So
here,
true.
So it's like
So true. I always try to have one pop of color in an outfit.
Yes.
Today was my bag, but
okay.
I don't have my bag on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super fun. I want to do it again and try and make it very beautiful.
Yes.
There was a girl at the party that I was at and she made hers so beautiful. She like found a poem and cut it out, and then the background was like she made all these like floral arrangements like from different like pictures and magazines, and I was like, wow, that's gorgeous.
That's really pretty.
I want to make a pretty one to hang on the wall.
Ooh, yes.
But the one that I made is just for me, you know?
Yes.
It's not really cute, but whatever.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Oh, okay. I haven't made a vision board in a long time, but I've also been wanting to. It's been like a really long time, probably like 2 years maybe since my last vision board. But I do like making them because then you can just go on Pinterest and like pin things that you want on the Pinterest board and print them out and then just like cut them out on like a really, really cute board.
Yeah.
So we can
I have a
that.
board on my Pinterest called What It Feels Like, and it's like pinning like my feelings, not specifically like photos that I like.
Yes.
So I feel like it would be cool to make a vision board from that board.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Yeah. I think I have a board just called Vibes, and it's just like photos that just like have a feeling or colors that I like. It's not really like a specific board of like style and decor. It's like just everything that I like from Pinterest. Because honestly, Pinterest does serve me really good photos on like my what would you call that? The homepage.
Yeah.
And I'm always so inspired. I even have like the widget on my phone for Pinterest, and it'll like randomly refresh with like different photos, and that's like really cool too.
Like on your home screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
I need
It's not
that in my life.
on my home screen, but it's like on the third page of my home screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get like the widget, and it's 3 photos, and it'll like refresh every day, or I don't even know how when it refreshes, but it's really cool just to like kind of like remind you that Pinterest exists, or like just give you like a little inspo every time you open your phone.
That's so cute. I want to do that.
Yeah, no, I love Pinterest. It's been one of like the social media platforms that I'm like, I really need to tap into Pinterest more this year, just because it's inspiring, expanding. Like, I don't know, I always want to be like the girls that are on there that are always posting their like outfits. Not that I will, but I just want to be like on there a lot more just to get inspiration for my fashion and just design and everything else. But anyways, I wanted to do like a segment of things that we've been obsessed with, because I like every week, every month, I'm like obsessed with something. And it might seem like disingenuous because it's like I'm obsessed with everything, but it's like that's just how I am. Like I don't know, I'm always obsessed with everything. I love everything. Everything changes my life. Like
I'm the same.
but hello, like I don't know. I'm just a girl. I'm obsessed with everything. Like I love life. So the past few weeks I've been getting served TikToks, which, by the way, what happened with that?
What a
What a stunt. What was that?
The drama.
The drama of it going dark 12 hours and then being like, nope, we're back. Like, what? Anyways, I don't even want to talk about that because yesterday was just...
Yeah.
So I've been getting served these TikToks of like girls that journal and like very like TikToks of girls doing chic things, buying things that are like very chic. And I don't even know how to describe that. It's just like they do things like in a different way than like just
that are elevated.
Yes,
that's
that
your
are
word.
yes, that are elevated. It's like little luxuries of life, and it's nothing like I don't know. It's always like something so random. You're like, yes, I need that in my life. And so I've been getting served TikToks of these girls with these beautiful journals.
Okay.
Like beautiful journals. And
like planner journals or like
no, just like
writing.
Journals. Just like writing, or like even if you want to do like I've also been served like junk journals. Have you heard of junk journals? Okay. That's not something I want to do, but maybe just like in a simpler way of just like if I find something or if I have like a sticker or something from the day, I'll like put it in my journal. But anyways, junk journaling is a whole different, that's like scrapbooking basically.
Right.
And that's not something I want to do. Anyway, so I've been getting served these journals and they're from Paris, of course. Like, why wouldn't they be from Paris? They're leather and just absolutely gorgeous. I went on their website because I was like, well, I need it, but how am I supposed to live my life without this thing? And I don't journal a lot, but I do journal, and that's something that I've been wanting to do. I've actually been wanting to do the, what is it called? The creative way?
The artist way?
The artist way. I was like, what is it called? The artist way. I've been wanting to like redo that and just get back into like journaling, like morning pages. I'm getting everything wrong. I don't even know what it is. I did it once and then I just like never went back to it, but I want to do it again. And so I was like, well, I have to have this journal to do it.
Yeah.
Of course. And it's so expensive, but it's like handmade. It's made in Paris. It's like super nice leather and it's gorgeous. And they just have like different things on their websites or different journals on their websites that you can buy. They have like small journals. They have big journals. They have like, I don't know, all these like charms that you can put on your journal. It's really,
I love a charm.
It's like it's like a luxury journal brand. Like, it's not cheap, so don't go on there expecting it to be a $10 journal, guys, okay? The brand is called Louise Cameron. I think that's how you say it. And I'm obsessed with it. I got Kenzie that for her birthday.
Oh.
and they just came in today. So hopefully I don't ruin the surprise. I think I'm going to give it to her this Friday.
Okay.
And I think this will come out after I give it to
Yeah,
her. So
2 weeks
hopefully
from now.
I don't ruin the surprise, because I was like, I know she would never buy that for herself.
Right.
And well, I would. So I was like, she needs this. She loves journaling. And the thing I like about the journal is that once you're done, so the journal I bought, it's like a leather journal, but it has 3 different journals inside of the leather bound,
Okay.
and you can always change the journals out. So she
Okay.
can buy whatever journal she wants as long as it fits in there, and just keep changing it out. And so she can
Cute.
fit 3 journals in there for whatever she wants to do. And so that's I got the exact same thing for myself. It's just a different color. And yeah, I'm really excited. So hopefully that'll make me like want to journal more.
Yeah, I think she'll love that because she goes through journals so quickly.
Yes, yeah. And this is like an heirloom. Like, this is something that you can have
Yeah.
forever. And even if she doesn't like the journals that like come with it, she can buy like a really pretty journal to go inside of the leather cover. I think that's what it is. It's like a leather cover, and you can put all your whatever journal
Wow.
you want in there. It just comes with 3 from the company. So she can
That's
start off
so
with that
nice.
and then just keep buying whatever journal she wants. So it'll be really cool. I'm excited to give that to her. I love gift giving. I love gift giving. I feel like I'm really good at listening and knowing what people like. So anyways, that's just something about me.
Yeah, you are really good.
I just love it. I don't know why. I just like being able to find a gift that people are gonna like appreciate. And I've also been really into like heirlooms and like keeping stuff for a long time. I'm not sure what got into me, because I've never been like really that sentimental, or like looking for items that are like gonna be passed down, or just like, I don't know, something that's gonna last a long time. So yeah, I've just been really into that. And so that's something, I got that journal because I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna last me forever if I take care of it. So
That's
I'm
so
excited.
cute. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So that's something that I've been obsessed with recently. It's just like all these like TikToks about journaling and what they put in their journals and what charms they like put on their
Yeah.
journals. So it's really exciting. And I didn't buy any charms for it because I was gonna see if I could find charms like in Fort Worth or somewhere here to put on my journal. But yeah, it's a Paris brand, and I think sometimes they do pop-ups in New York, which is really cool too.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're
Amazing.
looking for a journal and you want to spend some money, Louise Cameron is what
Louise
it's called.
Cameron.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Anything you've been obsessed with recently?
Well, speaking of Kenzie's birthday, I thrifted all of her presents.
Yes.
I've been
We love a good
so
thrift too.
obsessed with thrifting presents.
Yes,
Like,
that too.
not just clothes, but I found her she just got an Apple Watch, you know?
Yes, yes.
I found her a
She's a tech girl. Which is so funny if you know her. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's like not, I don't know. She's not very techie at all. Or like she doesn't really care about it. But now she's like has her Apple Watch. She's like texting from it.
Yeah. she set it to have an alarm like every 3 hours to drink water.
Ooh,
So
okay.
she's really making it work for her.
Yes, no, I
But
love it.
I found her like a band.
Ooh, okay.
Because she just had like the athletic one and it wasn't really her style.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
that's why it was so jarring for me to see it on her. And I
Yeah,
was
you're like,
whoa,
that
really?
thing?
It just didn't look like her.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
found her a strap and it's like black and white, like checkerboard.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's just like a stretchy band. So it looks really
Ooh.
good. Like she put it on and I was like, okay, that looks way
Perfect.
better.
Yeah. Oh
But I
my gosh.
thrifted it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I know. I love thrifting because you don't really know what you're going to get until you come out of the thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I just find some gems in there. Like I've found like wool coats in there that are super cheap, which if you know anything about wool coats and like how like marked up they are on like certain websites, and it's like 10% wool. And like,
Right.
that should not be $400
Yeah.
for 10% wool and 90%
Polyester.
polyester. Yeah, exactly. And then you go to thrift store, 100% wool, and it's $20. So
Right.
yeah, it's
I also
crazy.
found these like Himalayan salt shot glasses
Ooh,
that were like so cute.
yeah, that is really cute.
And I tried a shot of something and it was so salty. I wasn't expecting it to like actually be salt.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that would be like a good margarita shot.
yeah, I was like,
thing.
I think I like we had just opened like a bottle of like rosé, and we were taking a shot, and I was like, we need tequila.
Actually,
in
yeah.
this.
This isn't working out for us
It
right
wasn't
now.
working out, but it was a fun experience. But
Oh my
yeah, I
gosh.
thrifted those too. So
Okay.
like in the package, they had never been opened.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah. I love
So-
that. Oh my gosh. Well, that's really cool. What else did you get from the thrift store? Anything else? Where did you go, actually? That's a good question.
Okay, so I went to Indie Clover. Have you heard about that?
I've heard about it in Fort Worth. Where
There's
is it?
one in Plano.
Okay. Maybe I.
There's one
explain it
in
to
Fort
me.
Worth as
Okay.
well, but it's kind of like a store where there's a bunch of different booths that people
Okay,
can.
then I do know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yes, yes, yes. People can like rent out a little booth and sell their own clothes, right?
Or like things that they're have thrifted and sell it. So yeah, I'd never been before. It looks very like cutesy, like the branding, so I didn't know if I would like it.
Oh, yeah.
It just looks like it's branded for like a preteen.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
it kind of does. It was giving like limited too.
Yes, yeah. But I went in and that's where I found those shot glasses.
Oh,
That's where
Oh.
I found the Apple Watch.
I
Band.
only thought they did like clothes for some reason, so I wasn't expecting
I found a
to
vase.
say that. Oh, okay.
So-
So they sell more than just clothes
Yeah.
there. Okay, that's good.
You
to
have
know.
to really look, but I love looking.
I mean, yeah,
It's a treasure
and-
hunt.
I mean, yeah, any thrift store, I'm like, just like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the gems in there, and I go through everything.
Me too.
Like,
Ian will
I
not go with me because
Yeah,
I
I
spend
know.
2 hours
Yes.
looking at every single item.
Avery does not like thrifting at all because he just finds it like kind of overwhelming and just like I don't want to go through every single thing. But I'm like, that's how you find the good stuff.
Yeah.
It really is. That's how you find the good stuff. So yeah, I haven't been thrifting in a while, but I've been wanting to go now that it's about to be spring, which is wild.
I know, because I feel like
say.
it just got winter.
It just got cold, and I don't know. Do you think it's going to be cold for a long time?
No. I
Okay.
feel like it's going to be cold for like 2 or 3 more weeks, and then
Okay,
it's going to be
that's
hot
good,
again.
'cause I've been thinking like winter was so delayed that it's gonna be delayed until like April. That's what I was like. I don't know.
Honestly, good for
My-
me because I'm getting married in April and I don't want to sweat.
Like I need a little chill. I need a little cold front.
Yeah, I welcome that cold front.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there was a photographer that just got married. That's a Dallas photographer. Do you know who I'm talking about? No. Oh.
I'm like excited though.
Oh my gosh, what is her name? I just went completely blank. And of course, I don't have my phone. Well, she just got married and she got married in Mexico. And I don't know the exact place that she got married, but it looked so pretty. Her colors were like bright red, bright greens. Like it was just gorgeous. Her ceremony was at like this, like, there was like a pool, and then there was a house behind the pool, and then there was like stairs, almost like a little.
Oh, I think I've seen that venue before.
But anyway, so there's like a house, and then there's stairs to the house, and they got married like on top of there, and it just was like so gorgeous.
I think I
so
know what
pretty.
you're talking about.
Okay, I can't remember her name. I would shout her out if I knew her name. Why did I go blank
I
on
think
her
I
name?
saw that, but I didn't realize it was a Dallas photographer.
Yeah, and her wedding was just like really unique and pretty, and I just loved it. So if I think of her name later in the episode, I will let you know who it is, because her wedding was really cool. She's kind of like a photographer influencer, so I love following her for all the stuff that she does. So she's always posting like vlogs and TikToks and things like that. And she's been like documenting her process of getting married.
okay.
So it's just been like fun to follow
Yeah.
like what she's been doing. And her wedding just looked so fun. I was like, oh my gosh, I need a Mexico trip ASAP.
Aren't you going soon?
In July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a
not very
family
soon.
vacation. We go not every year. I don't think I went last year, but we try to go like every year to like Cancun, just to go. My parents are from Mexico, so they have a lot of like, I feel like they get things cheaper because they know Spanish, and it's just kind of like they know like the rates and everything, so they're not like getting sold to as an American. So they get really good rates. But yeah, I think we're going to Cancun, and we're bringing Avery too. And he's never been to Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, the only time he's ever been abroad is when he was in college and had to study abroad for
Okay.
his degree, like it was mandatory, I think, to study
Oh.
abroad for his degree. And he went to Chile.
Oh,
Yeah, which is crazy.
amazing.
That was like his first time ever going anywhere outside of the United States. And I'm pretty sure he's only been to a few states. So it's just crazy that it's like he went from like only going to a few states to going to Chile, which I've never even been. I've only ever been to Mexico. So that should be fun. We'll see. There's like, have you seen that trope online where people will take their significant other to family vacations and then like shortly after they'll break up?
Oh God.
It's like a thing online. I don't know. I feel like I see it all the time.
It's not my
But
algo.
I mean, we've been together for like
Yeah.
almost like 10 years now. So it's like, I don't think a small little family vacation will
Yeah.
break us up.
No, that'll be fun.
Or we've known each other for 10 years. I don't think we've been together for 10 years, but yeah, so that'll be really fun. But yeah, just seeing her wedding, I was like, oh my gosh. And also just like, I don't know, I just love to see other photographers' weddings. So that's why I'm like, oh my gosh, Miranda, give me something to do for your wedding. Like, I want to design it. I want to get everything for the wedding. I'm just like excited for you because it'll be so pretty. I'm excited to see your dress and everything. How is that going? Did you have to do like measurements and stuff for your wedding dress?
So I'm ordering it off Etsy and it's handmade. I'm doing the measurements a little bit bigger so that I can get it tailored if I need to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd rather
That's
it be
smart.
bigger than
Yeah,
small.
that's
So,
smart. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see everything come together.
I know. I'm a
Are you doing okay with it?
I'm doing okay with it.
Okay, okay. Because I'm like, I know you're a little stressy about it.
Yeah, it's not even like that stressful. I think I get anxious planning something and it not going the way that I want it to go.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's like literally what is the worst that could happen because it's such a small event anyways.
yeah.
So I'm trying to like remind myself that I'm not planning like a 200 like guest wedding.
Yes,
So I just need to chill.
yes, exactly. Yeah, you
Yeah.
need to send me your Pinterest board because I'm very curious of like.
I know, but I'm waiting because I guess I can take my dress off of my Pinterest board. People have been like, I want your Pinterest board. I'm like, I know, but my whole outfit's on there.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not.
I don't want you to
revealing
see it.
that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I guess I could just take it off.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you. Or make a different Pinterest board or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But okay. That's exciting. Yay. I can't wait. It's coming up. Time is going by very fast these days.
We're finalizing our invitations this week and then sending
Ooh,
them.
that'll be so exciting. I can't wait to see everything.
Which Ian is designing them, so.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be so good.
They're very simple.
Yeah.
Like very, kind of like ironic. Like,
ooh, okay.
not ironic, but just like very, what's the word? Oh, I don't know what the word is, but like nonchalant. Is that a word?
Okay. Yes. I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. Yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
it kind of looks just like a invite for like a party.
Okay.
Not like a huge wedding because we're not having a huge wedding.
Oh, okay. Yes. I get what you're saying. Okay.
You'll understand when you see
Yes,
it.
I know. I'm excited. I mean, you can show the people. We'll blur out some things so they don't know where it is. But yeah, I'm so excited to see it. I don't know. I've just been like seeing all these weddings and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to plan my own or just like be a part of a planning process because I do love a theme. I love getting people together and just like, I don't know, just like hosting too is really fun as well. So I can't wait until we're like big enough to like host events.
Oh, I know.
And like plan that out because that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Jenna Palick, have you been following her?
Yes.
As I told you, yeah, she's like my expander. I love her. She does like these amazing events for women and it's just really, really cool to see it like all play out and how she like plans them and how all the decor comes together and all these people. So it's really cool seeing her do that because I'm like, oh, that would be so fun to do one of these days, especially in Dallas. We might have to take an intermission here soon because
what
my
10 minutes till it drops.
Oh my gosh, guys. Let's talk about something else I'm obsessed with. Caleb Heron. I love him. He has a podcast called So True. He is probably the funniest person I think I've ever heard heard, like ever. I love him. I'm obsessed with him. I need him. Unfortunately, he is gay, so I will never have him, but it's okay because he's going on tour in March in Dallas, and I'm getting tickets, and tickets drop in 10 minutes, you
Yeah.
said, and I have to get tickets, guys. Like
You'll
this
get
is
'em.
like
I believe in you.
a must. I will not be taking no for an answer. Even
This
if
is your Eras
like,
tour.
yes, no, literally, guys. I am like, I have to be the first one in there. I have to be front row seats. Like, I love this man. And thankfully, when I first heard of him, he wasn't as popular. And so when I first heard of him, like a few weeks later, he went on tour for his stand up. And I was able to see him live in Fort Worth randomly at this like pretty small like comedy show. And of course, like I think I've never laughed harder ever. I love him. So speaking of obsessed, like I tell everyone about him. So if you're a podcast listener, if you like a good laugh, go follow him on TikTok. I'm like his biggest fan. Number one, Caleb Heron fan right here. So go follow him. His podcast is called So True, and you'll never laugh harder. So we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be back.
To talk about why we really came here to talk about.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And we're back.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry, I was like, did I hit record? Yes, I got my tickets, so we're good. And Miranda is actually second shooting for me this weekend, which is really exciting. I have my first wedding this weekend of the year, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. We're going to be with some awesome vendors, Stoked Weddings, Mackenzie, Kindred Weddings with, I forget their names, but shout out to them. They're like super awesome videographers, and I'm pretty sure they followed our podcast Instagram, so they'll be there, and I'm really excited. Which today's episode, we are going to be talking about second shooting. So, Miranda, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. Well, we just kind of wanted to talk about second shooters, what they're here for, what they're not here for, because I feel like if you're new to the industry, you might not know the expectations that you need to meet.
Yeah, or just like hear someone's perspective of being a second shooter, of being a lead shooter. So just kind of like talking about all the perspectives of being a second photographer and just like what your lead is going to expect from you. And this is just industry standards, of course. Some people will want to like expect something else from you. Like every photographer is different. Every lead photographer is different. So it's just going to be about like, you just are going to have to ask them what they're expecting. But this is just like some of the points we're going to make is just industry standard, which most people follow. So just keep that in mind.
So second shooters are there to help the main photographer, not build their own portfolio.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people mistake that, because I think a lot of education around second shooters online is that that's what they're saying, is that you should become a second shooter to build your portfolio. And so, of course, you can do both, but it's mostly about being there for the main photographer and the couple of that day, not just your portfolio. That's kind of like what comes in last, basically.
Yeah, of course you can use those photos in your portfolio if the lead photographer allows it, but that shouldn't be like your main focus when accepting a second shooter gig.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the second photographer, that's what it is. You're helping the lead photographer in whatever they're needing. And I think, yeah, like I said, a lot of people go into it thinking that it's just all about them, basically, and them just building their portfolio and just like learning from the lead photographer, which is fine too, but just know that you're there for the main photographer. So just kind of like follow what they tell you to do.
Yeah.
You shouldn't just be taking photos for your own sake. You should really look at what maybe the couple wants and what the lead photographer is telling you to get.
Right. And that's going to differ between photographers. So
okay.
A second photographer is a supporting photographer hired to assist the main photographer during a wedding. Their roles include capturing candid moments, different angles, and additional shots that the primary photographer might miss.
Yes. And the expectations of that is assistant and not just portfolio building. The second shooter's main goal is to complement the main photographer's work and ensure comprehensive coverage of the event.
Mm-hmm.
And the second shooter is just add value by providing like a backup to the lead photographer, enabling the main photographer to focus on key moments while the second photographer covers alternative shots or angles for
Mm-hmm.
that. So that's kind of like the role of a second photographer.
Yes, and you are valued there to take photos, but I think there's more value in there being there. Um, for a lead photographer, I love having a second just to have like a friend throughout the day
Yes.
because especially during like lull moments, it's nice to have someone to hang out with, someone that you want to like build a relationship with, and also um, it's good to have like a second mind for solving problems.
Yes.
Like when things get
That's a
crazy,
good one.
like two minds are better than one. So,
Always. Yeah. Well, and also for me, like sometimes I feel like I need an extra set of hands of like, can you go, please go get this flash or go get this or whatever. And so weddings are a lot less stressful when you do have an extra pair of hands of just like, you can tell them to go do something, go get the groom, go get the bride,
mm-hmm.
just someone to have there to help you out, especially if the wedding's like pretty stressful or not stressful, but like if it's pretty packed or you're like at a hotel, you have to go up and down. It's better to have someone else kind of like help you with that aspect too,
Yeah.
of like helping you
Yeah.
communicate with others too.
Yes.
And you're not having to like do it all yourself because it can add more time to the timeline if you're just like having to do all of that yourself and you just
Yeah.
kind of like stress yourself out.
So when you are being a second photographer, like know that your value and your goal isn't just to take photos. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have a lot more value than that. And if you are good at those other skills, that's great. And
Yes.
people will want to continue to ask you to second shoot for them.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think we all make this mistake when we first start out too. Like I definitely thought second shooting was just kind of like just being there for the photographer, but I really made it to where I was just like shooting exactly how they were. And partially my fault, partially their fault because they didn't really tell me what to do or how to shoot or like what they were expecting. And so, yeah, I definitely made that mistake early on in my career of just like
Mm-hmm.
thinking. And sometimes it is really hard when you're second shooting and you've been a lead for such a long time. You almost like revert back to being a lead sometimes, just in the way
Right.
you shoot. Not I'm not telling people what to do at someone else's wedding, but it's almost like you want to shoot exactly how you shoot a lead wedding. And sometimes you kind of like almost have to like turn that off and be like, okay, what am I here to do? Like, how is this going to add to this couple's gallery and not just what am I going to benefit from
Mm-hmm.
this? So,
Yeah. And so if you are new to second shooting and you kind of feel like maybe it's like your first or second wedding that you've ever been to, honestly, just talk with your lead photographer. Ask them what they want because
mm-hmm,
someone, photographer A, might want you to be by their side the whole time getting a backup
mm-hmm.
frame. Photographer B might want you to be getting a totally different angle or event,
Yes, exactly.
and they want to be totally separate from you. So it's
Yeah.
really like you need to communicate with the photographer who hired you and ask, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. And even if they don't tell you what they expect from you, ask
Yeah,
questions.
ask questions.
Because sometimes I've gotten that too where they're just like, "Oh yeah, just come." And then they never send me anything else and I'm like, "Well, what do you want?" Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Everyone's so different. I'm like, I it's a lot less stressful as a second if you just ask them what they want. Cuz
Mm-hmm.
some people, I mean, some photographers just won't tell you. And so that could be kind of stressful too the day of because you're like, am I doing this right? Like, am I doing what they want? And so it's just really hard because every photographer is so different in the way they shoot too. And what I would suggest as well, I don't know if this is a segment on your thing, but what I would suggest is going second shooting for people that you kind of want to shoot like. So if you're like a documentary photographer, kind of stay in like the documentary space or like find photographers that are doing that. Or if you're like wanting more of like the classic portrait wedding photos and go with like a photographer, or like try to find photographers that kind of shoot the way you want to shoot,
Yeah. I say if when
or
you're
vice versa.
when you're starting out, that's a great idea. If you're more seasoned, I feel like it's cool to have skill sets in every different kind of style.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So that way you can literally work with anyone, but just ask them what they want you to be photographing, because you could be like second shooting for a very like editorial photographer, but they want you there to be getting like documentary candid style, so that they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. Or even like with film, like sometimes couples will add a lot more film than I can take during a wedding day. And so having a second photographer that can do that, they can focus on that while I can just focus on digital. And so that's also something too that a lead might want from you. So it's like, there's just so many things that a second photographer can do. And like sometimes I'm like, oh, well, you get behind the scenes. So it's like you really do put on a lot for a second photographer, but that's why they're there, to help you.
And there's like little to no pressure for you because you're not the lead photographer. And so you're kind of like behind the scenes. So you can really like be super creative. And
yes,
I mean, that's why I love second shooting.
Oh, I know. It's just it's a lot less stressful, especially after you've done it for a few times. My dogs, I swear, we're never gonna get through a podcast with these dogs.
They're kind of like my emotional support.
Yeah, they're our little audience.
Okay.
No, they're doing fine today. It's just Luna's just, I don't know, she's just wanting pets and just wanting to be on video. I guess she wants to be a podcaster as well, huh, Luna? Oh my goodness. But yeah, so that's kind of like the role of a second photographer. And I guess we could get into like compensation and professionalism as a second photographer.
Well, for compensation, honestly, this is my hot take, or it's not even a hot take, but this is my take on second shooting. You could literally make a whole career off of just second shooting if you wanted to. And so it can bring a significant amount of income to your business. So I say treat it like a job. Like we were saying before, think about what you can bring to the table and not just what you're getting. Obviously, you're getting photos for your own portfolio. But if you think about it more of, this is my job, I'm being hired by somebody, how can I be the best employee?
Yes, exactly.
Then literally you can get paid so much to be a second shooter. Yeah. And it creates a steady stream of income if you are newer and trying to still book out your year. I just love it for that. And yeah, or it could just be like a really good side hustle. Like, honestly.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially if you have another job and you want something to do on the weekends. There's definitely photographers that have, or I mean, you can shoot for different photographers, which is really nice. It's nice that you can book second shooting jobs with a lot of photographers, because then you can do a wedding like every weekend.
Yeah, no, seriously.
If you really wanted to. And the way you can do that is just by being a really good second photographer. And then the way I get second shooting gigs is usually like one photographer will tell another photographer about me. And so I always get people like in my inbox like, hey, are you free this weekend? Or are you free in March or whatever? And so it always comes from another photographer that I've already second shot for and has referred me to another photographer. And they're like constantly referring me. So it's really good word of mouth marketing too.
Exactly. And so if you accidentally or purposefully burn a bridge with a photographer that you are second shooting for, your second shooter career could be like over for that area, because people talk.
It'll definitely either get around, or that lead photographer that you burned a bridge with just will not say your name, will not hire you again, and will suggest other people for the job. And so yeah, it's always good to just ask questions, because then that's how you're going to do a really, really good job at the lead photographer's wedding. And I think also with the professionalism, you also have to ask questions about that, because there are some people that want you to dress a certain way, don't want you to wear ripped jeans, sandals. Like, they want you to dress a certain way.
Not the ripped jeans.
Yes. No ripped jeans at weddings, guys. No matter how country, how low key it is. Like,
Yeah.
no ripped jeans. And so just asking questions even about the attire, because you don't want to show up to a really nice wedding in like clothes that you look like you just got done working out, or you just got done coming from like I don't know, the club or something. Like, you want to dress professionally, and just honestly, if you can't find anything in your closet, black, just wear black. Black slacks, black shirt, you'll be good. But yeah, definitely always ask the lead photographer what they want you to wear to a wedding. And not just that, but also one of like the industry standards of like professionalism is like not saying your own photography business to other guests or wedding vendors. Just like, kind of, if they ask you who you're working for, you say the lead photographer, and not just don't market your business at someone else's wedding. Is like what I'm trying to say here. So don't market your business.
Like the way you interact with guests.
Yes, the way you interact with guests is everything. You want to be nice, courteous. If they ask you something, like, make sure you go find the answer for it, and just be, I don't know, just be nice and ready to be there.
Yeah.
And
it's not just like a free like day for you to just get the photos that you want.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a job.
Yeah, no, it is a job. And I think, yeah, some people forget that. And so you really want to make sure, because this is like, if it's your first wedding with this lead, it's kind of like a job interview. They're kind of like testing you out to see if they want you at their next wedding or want you to keep you around for like the next few weddings. And so definitely ask questions, dress professionally, ask them how they want you to dress, and don't market your business to other people at the event. And then also, what I was trying to say earlier is that another industry standard for professionalism is not posting the photos before the main photographer can even edit the entire gallery. So don't post the photos. What I like to do is wait at least like 4 months, but that could be different for every photographer. So just see when you can post the photos, and if you can even post the photos, because some photographers do not let you post their photos,
right? Which
is fine. You just ask that before you go to the wedding or agree to second shoot, because some people will not let you use the photos. And if you're like, that's a deal breaker for you, then you don't have to do it. But definitely, that's one of the questions that I would ask too, if you're like wanting to get into second shooting and like want to build your portfolio as well, is ask if you can even use the photos, because you will burn bridges with photographers if you're posting photos that they don't want you to post, or posting like immediately after the wedding and tagging vendors. That's another thing. Just don't tag the vendors is usually what some photographers...
Usually photographers don't want you to tag vendors
or the couple, guests.
Don't follow their clients.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes like I've second shot for people, and the main photographer will like post me on their story and the client will follow me. But that's just what happens. Like, I didn't follow them to begin with, but some people don't care, some people do. So just make sure you know.
Ask. Moral of the story?
Yes.
Ask, because every single person is going to be different.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I don't care if my like second photographers follow the people that we're shooting with, because they also built a relationship with them, like spent all day with them. So I don't really care. But some people do. So yeah, always ask if you can do that, because photographers won't let you post or tag the vendors, tag the couple, post the photos. Just wait. Do not post photos like the day after. I know you're eager. You want to edit them, and you can edit them, but just keep it in your computer and not online. So that's what I had to say about professionalism, is like, these are like industry standard type of things that will burn bridges with people, and then they'll tell their other photographers like, hey, don't hire this person because they posted immediately after the wedding, or like they wore ripped jeans at my wedding. So Always ask questions. Definitely, that is really the moral of the story. Because when you're starting out, you don't know these things, and so that's why I think it's important for us to talk about it as like a lead photographer and also people that have second shot before. I kind of like know the industry standards now, and so it's a lot easier now to second shoot, and I'm not like afraid of like, oh my gosh, am I doing something wrong? Am I not? Because you're just like ignorant to the industry, so you don't really know you're not supposed to tag vendors, or you don't know that you're not allowed to wear a certain thing to a wedding or an event or whatever. My sister was telling me that this florist had always been confused why second photographers that she met at weddings would never tag her work. And Stephanie was like, well, usually the main photographer doesn't let them. And so she didn't even know that that was like a thing among wedding photographers. And so it's just nice for everyone to know that usually the second photographer isn't allowed to tag other vendors, which that's something that I don't really understand, but
it's kind of tricky.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's
because technically, like, that couple didn't pay for your photos, like,
yeah.
So
and if it gets spread, then the couple finds it, and then it gets tricky with like the couple being like, "Oh, will you send me that photo?"
Exactly,
or like, and so you don't really want to get into that mess. But I do understand why other vendors would want to be tagged in their work, but I don't know. That one is a tricky one because honestly, I don't care. I'm like, tag everyone, follow my clients. Okay, maybe not all of it, but I really just don't think it'll take away from anything. But some people aren't like that, so
yeah,
I don't know.
That's a little spicy. Some people have different mindsets.
Yeah.
Which, that could be like a difference between like a scarcity and abundant mindset. But
yeah. But also, I don't know that they've always done it that way, so that's the way they're gonna do it. But I honestly really don't care about all that stuff because it's just like, I already booked them. What are they gonna do? Steal my clients? If they want a photo, I guess I'll send it to them. Like, it's okay. I'm not gonna be like, nope, sorry. It just adds a little bit more stress because then you're like, oh my gosh, well, now my second photographer has to edit the photos and send them, and so it just like
it gets more complicated when that wedding is gonna go to print.
Yes.
Because
you're so right. That's why people do it. Yes.
Because those photos are exclusive to that one magazine.
Yes.
So if they're leaked by a second photographer, that can create all different kinds of mess.
Yeah.
So
no, that's so true. Yeah.
So always talk to your photographer.
Yep.
Is this going to go to print?
Yeah.
If so, I'll wait till the print comes out to share my photos.
I know. Yeah. Okay. That's why we're here. Bringing perspectives, because I totally forgot about that too, because I'm not really in that world yet, so I'm just kind of like, whatever, follow my clients, I don't care. Well, most of like the second photographers I know are my friends, and so I don't really care if they like follow the people that we were at a wedding at all day. Like, you made a relationship with them, so like, why not follow them? So anyways, but I think that's it on professionalism that I had. I just wanted to throw in a few like industry standard things that people get in trouble a lot for.
Yeah. So we kind of wanted to talk about tips for main photographers when you're hiring a second shooter, because it does go both ways.
Yes, it does. And a lot of main photographers get in trouble by not doing a few things and like setting expectation and rules and like telling them exactly what it is, especially if you know that second photographer is newer. They're not going to know everything.
Yeah.
They're just not. Like, just because you know all the rules and you've second shot and you've done a lot of weddings, that doesn't mean they know.
Don't assume.
Yeah,
that everyone knows everything.
Yeah, exactly. So, but what was the first thing you were going to...
Preparing your second shooter, advising them on a briefing about the event, the timeline, discussing styles, if you have a specific shot list that you want them to be capturing instead of while you're busy, and any special requests that you want them to do, and also highlighting them on the benefits of using similar equipment and gear and settings.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
It's also good as a second photographer to ask your main shooter if they don't tell you what kind of settings that they want you to be using,
Mm-hmm.
because that is just different from style to style. And so even like I always ask, like, do you want this to be shot on ambient light or flash? And a lot of times they'll be like, I'm shooting flash, so you shoot ambient, or vice versa. Or no, I want this all on flash. And you just don't know
Yeah.
until you ask.
Yeah.
So,
And it'll get easier the more you work with one person too, which is nice, but you just gotta get through that first wedding.
yeah,
So just asking the right questions as a second photographer. And then also the way to get a really good second photographer is to tell them what you want.
exactly.
Before they even get the chance to ask you, you're already on top of it. And what I've done before is just created like a Word document of like things that I want them to do. Like, don't go under this aperture, or don't go above this aperture, or whatever it is. Like, you know the way you want people to shoot, and so I would just put that in a document, even if it's nothing fancy. Just like tell them exactly what you want, and always send a contract. I feel like a lot of main photographers go online and they talk about how this photographer is like posting on Instagram right after the wedding, or they're using the images, sending it to their clients, and all of this stuff that could be fixed with the contract. And sometimes not. Sometimes people will just like go off the rails and not listen to the contract. But again, some second photographers are so new to the industry that they don't know. So just having a contract where it kind of like lays everything out will help you immensely with all the problems that most lead photographers have.
Right. Yeah.
So that's really, really important. It's just like setting expectations, telling them exactly what you want to do, and the day of just kind of directing them to, and not being very passive either. Just like tell them how it is. Especially if you've never worked with them before. It's scary either way, as a main photographer and as a second photographer doing the first wedding with each other, because you just don't know how each other works or how they shoot. And so just really like telling them exactly what you want will work for sure.
And then when you're choosing a second shooter, I mean, sometimes you just are in a pinch and you need to get whoever's available, especially during busy season. But if you can look for second shooters like 2 to 3 months before your wedding, that will kind of help eliminate that stress. But when you're choosing one, and you can be choosy, to choose someone who has maybe the same personality that you do, so that you know whenever you walk out of that room and they're left alone with your couple, they would treat your couple the exact same way that you would.
Yeah.
Because I've in the past had second shooters who were very different than me, and there's been like instances where I've come back and be like, oh, I wouldn't have said that to my couple. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's also a really big indicator of like what's a good second shooter, is just the way that you talk to your clients and stuff like that.
No, that is really, really good. And I think that was it for that. Is just main lead photographers should be sending out something to second photographers to set everything up, because it'll give you less problems. People know exactly what you're hiring them for, and it's just easier as a second photographer. Anytime I get like, I want you to shoot tablescapes exactly like this. I want it to be aperture 4.5. I want you to get everything in focus, and like having examples and like everything. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
Like because you just never know. I've shot so many different ways. I've shot with so many different photographers that I'm like, okay, well, what do you want? How do you want me to add to this gallery? And it's so nice whenever I get exactly what they want, because I'm like, perfect. I don't need to ask you on the day of. I don't need to stress you out on the day of. I don't need to ask any questions the day of, because I know exactly what I'm getting into before I even shoot the wedding, which is so nice to have as a second photographer. And just, I don't know, just being organized as a lead photographer too. I feel like sometimes I've shot for like just photographers that are a little chaotic and just kind of like are sending me, just my dog interrupting. It's fine. I'm thinking next time I just have to kick them out. I was trying to be nice today and just letting them chill, and they were chill for a second, but I think, I don't know, they don't like being locked into the same place for a long time. So Sorry about that. All the interruptions. But anyways, as I was saying, well, I don't remember what I was saying, but we can move on to the next one, which is like tips to start second shooting.
Mm-hmm. If you've never second shot a wedding before, if you've never shot a wedding before, just skip the cold calling DMs and trying to shoot your shot that way, because 9 times out of 10, they're just going to look over that. And I mean, honestly, I get annoyed when people do that to me, because it just feels like I don't even know you. I've never met you before, and you're just trying to like
Use me.
use me.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. It feels very inauthentic because I'll receive a follow from a photographer, and then immediately after there's like a DM like, "Oh, I love your work. If you ever need a second photographer, let me know." And I'm like, "You don't even know me. Why would you want to work with me? You have no idea who I am. You might love my work, and that's probably authentic, but it's just like you don't know me. I don't know you. You've never liked a photo of mine, so it does seem like very like
it's a big
you're
risk.
just like using me.
Yeah, and it's a
and not
risk
getting to know me.
for someone to hire you based on that.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, why would I hire you? I don't know you.
Yeah, yeah. So it just feels, it just feels weird whenever you're just like following someone and then DMing them, cold DMing them because you don't know who they are, and you're just like, hey, can I second shoot for you? I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah, especially like when those messages go to like my requests.
Yes.
I'm like, I really don't know you because you're
Yes.
my request.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think just following people, liking their stuff, like commenting on it, it feels a little bit more authentic to me than just like going in blind and just cold DMing.
And if you are going to do that, make it a really good message. Don't just say, I love your work if you need a second shooter, because everyone says that.
Yeah, everyone
So,
says
like,
that.
why do you love our work? And so instead of doing that, which, like, okay, it sounds hard if you're not going to be doing it that route, but it is hard. Like, this is a career that you're building. It's like, so treat it as that. It's a long game. My personal fave is to just become friends with people. Like, be real, be authentic. We really do like authenticity.
Well, like I was saying, like you can follow me, start liking a few pictures, maybe like comment on a few stories, something like that, where I'm like noticing like, oh, there's a photographer, they're following me, I don't follow them, I wonder why, and then I go onto their page and then I start following them, and then you're kind of like in my
in your peripheral.
Yeah.
But like even more than that, like I feel like I'm so sorry, guys. I hate how much I say like.
It's okay.
I'm trying to be better.
I know, it's so hard.
Maybe by episode 50, I'll have no likes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, gotta work on that.
But every second shooter gig that I personally had is because someone recommended me to somebody else. So if you're just making friends with people, like that is the way to do it.
That's how you're gonna get
That's the way to do it.
a second shooting.
Because every time someone has asked me to second, I'm either already friends with them or they're close friends I'm friends with.
Yes.
And they trust me.
Yeah. And I think the way I was able to start second shooting was because I started, so I was first like a senior portrait photographer. I never really did any couples or anything. So I did a couple of model calls for couples, and I did like mini sessions with these couples. I did like 5. And so I was able to start posting more couples content. So it was easier for other photographers to be like, oh, she does couples. Like I can kind of trust her to maybe second shoot a wedding, even though she's newer, because she's worked with couples. So it is a little bit harder when you don't have a portfolio of even couples. So I would suggest at least trying to do your own work and like building your own portfolio of like couples. And like, even if you just get like a bride in a dress or like a groom or whatever, and start taking pictures of that, do your own flat lays, something so you can have a portfolio of something that's like at least like wedding related, because it is hard for wedding photographers to look at a portfolio that has nothing to do with weddings and be like, oh yeah, I can trust them. because you kind of can't.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how they're going to be at like shooting portraits
And I don't want
or
this
couples.
to discourage anybody from trying to second shoot if they've never shot a wedding before, because I have given people a chance. And how did I grant them that chance? They became my friend first.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
have employed people who have never shot a wedding before to be my second shooter.
Yeah.
Because they were my friend. And like, that's just goes to show it's all about building relationships.
Yeah, and there's different ways. Like you could do that. You can do what I said, like just build a portfolio at least to start off with if you're wanting to do weddings. So yeah, there is a lot of different ways than just like going in cold and like emailing someone,
Right.
being like, "Hey, love to be your second shooter." Okay, well, there's a lot of photographers that would love to do that. And also, I think when you're first starting out is like finding photographers that are also just kind of starting out. Because it's going to be hard for you to book a second shooting job for like a luxury wedding photographer, because at that point in their career, they can't take a risk with someone that doesn't know what they're doing, because they're booking weddings that are very expensive and they have to deliver a gallery that matches their own photography style. And so I think it's easier for you to book second shooting jobs with people that are just getting into the industry, or at least have only been in the industry for a few years, if that makes sense. Just because, yeah, I mean, I can barely book second shooting jobs with like luxury wedding photographers because I just like haven't done that scale of weddings. And so it's just easier, I think, if you find someone like almost like at not the same level, but at least like a few steps above you to second shoot for. Because that's kind of like how I started second shooting too, is like I was hired by my friend Jessica to second shoot a wedding, and that had been, I think that was maybe like her fifth or sixth wedding or something like that. So she was barely starting out too. And it was good because we weren't like, our work didn't differ too much. So that was good. But yeah, there's lots of ways you can do it. Just try to not go in too strong.
Yeah.
Because that's not really how it's never worked on me, and it might work for other people. It might.
Yeah. Shoot your shot, but if you're going to shoot your shot, be intentional about it. And maybe write a very beautiful message from the heart.
Yeah. Well, and I've also always like thought that it would be a good idea for second photographers to build like a resume website of like, here's my portfolio, this is what I can offer, things like that. Like just having like a landing page almost that people can go to find.
Yeah.
To find out more. Yeah. To sell yourself, to find out more about you, and just be a little bit like professional, because that's something I've never seen anyone do. And I've always thought that was like a really good idea that I thought of. I don't know if it's like, I don't know, unique or anything. I'm sure some people have done it, but I've never seen it done. So even just building like a little Canva website or something just to have like, here's what I can do, and just building like a little resume of like photos you've taken, people you've shot with.
Because some people do post on their stories like, I need a second shooter for this day, and their DMs are getting flooded.
Yes.
So if you have that, like a little link, that sets you apart from everyone else.
That would be so good. And also, I think a lot of the time on Facebook is where I found a lot of second shooting gigs, like local photography groups like Texas, or I'm sure every state has like their own like photography group. And so just following all of those, because people are always posting on there like, need a second photographer, need an associate, like they're always posting stuff on there. So just like following that closely, and then following people too on Instagram, because then like you said, people will be posting like, hey, I need a second shooter on Instagram. And if you've been following them for a while, liking their stuff and like commenting on stuff, they'll be like, oh, I've seen this profile before. I've seen this person before. And they'll more than likely choose you than everyone else that just started following them yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about that.
That's a really good idea. I love it.
Yeah. So building a website, I think, would be really cool. Like I said, never been done before. I'm not sure, actually. I've just never seen it, but I've always thought that was a good idea, and something I would do if I wanted to second shoot more is like building a little website resume thing.
Yeah.
I think would be really, really unique for someone to do. But was there anything else?
That's all the thoughts I had about second shooters. I love second shooters. I love second shooting. Let us know if you have any questions, because are we doing that form thing?
Yes. Yeah. I already linked it on our Instagram. So I created a Google form where you can ask us a question, and we'll be picking some to maybe end episodes with, or just whenever we have time to answer a few questions. We were going to make like a segment. And so you can go on the Google form and just ask a question and we can answer it. It could be about photo, it could be about film, life, business, just anything. And hopefully we can answer it for you. But that'll be linked in the description. And I also have it linked on our Instagram. And our Instagram is Perfectly Unposed Pod. So you can follow us on there. Remember to leave us a review. Again, 5 stars only, because we are sensitive and we will cry if it's less than that. And subscribe to our YouTube, because we'll finally have video, which is so exciting. We love to see it. And thank you for being here with us today. We got 50 listens or 50 plays on Spotify, or just, on Spotify. They sent me like a notification today. It was like 50 plays. And I was like, wait, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm
for only
obsessed
having
with you guys.
2 episodes out.
Yes, I love it. I'm so excited for the podcast. It's going to be so good, and hopefully you take something away from this. And if we have any other things we'd like to add, we'll add it in the next episode, because I swear every time I'm editing, I'm like, oh my gosh, we could have said this, or like we could have done this. So anyways, leave us a question. We'll answer it hopefully in the upcoming episodes, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. I love you so much.
Bye.